Welcome to another edition of the ISB podcast. I'm your host, Sahil, here with Rahi, covering the round of 16 matches, and it's been a crazy, crazy day of matches. I think, one of the things that I want to say is that France-Belgium was perhaps something that you put on before you're going to sleep and you fall asleep to that movie. And the other one was like an Oscar-worthy film, which of course was the Slovenia versus Portugal match. So let's concentrate on that one. We can briefly give a quick summary of that France-Belgium game because there wasn't really anything in it.
It was boring, 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 and France wins. That's what it was pretty much. Can we give a lot of credit to the smaller teams in this tournament? The Slovakias, the Slovenias have given us, the Georgias have given us the most exciting games of this tournament. The Romanias. And the big teams, the Frances, the Belgiums, the Englands have managed to try to bore us to sleep. Yeah. So let's take a minute and really be thankful that these so-called smaller nations are in this tournament and competing the way they are. Because if we had to just watch hours and hours of Belgium against France, this would be the most boring tournament ever.
And Dominic Tedesco decided to go AWOL with that and play some weird situation where De Bruyne was playing a defensive midfielder.
I don't get it. Why Belgium plays as if they're a minnow against France, right? England did a shapes of that, I thought, in the World Cup, but I don't understand the fear about this French team. Yes, they're an extremely talented team, but they don't really put it all together very often. And why Belgium conceded so much of the game, I don't understand. It's not a team that doesn't have talent, right? You have arguably the best midfielder in the world, one of them, right, in De Bruyne. Why are you playing as if France is, the best team in the world and you're San Marino? That I don't understand.
It's a bizarre situation. Maybe we can do a separate video on the Belgian national team. I'm sure our correspondent Ishana would love to do that at some point in time, but that wasn't the story of the day. That wasn't the Oppenheimer, movie that everyone wanted to see. It was this Portugal-Slovenia match because this was drama to the end. You had tears, you had saves, you had all kinds of stuff. So I don't think I've seen a more exciting 0-0 match ever.
Incredible. Two incredible goalkeeping performances, first of all. I don't think I've ever seen two goalies play that well on both sides, right? Jan Oblak with an incredible save off the penalty, save after save before that. On the other side, Šeško has the one-on-one, and that's saved as well. I mean, goalkeeping masterclass on both sides of the field, I have to say.
It was so much drama in this match, and of course, Cristiano Ronaldo being a central figure. It almost seemed at the beginning he was like trying to win the match by himself for Portugal, which there's no need to do. Yeah. Right. And Slovenia put on a defensive masterclass. So I'm going to talk about a few plot lines through this game. Slovenia did a fantastic job defensively and through the match. Fantastic. I would give all their players 10s, except Benjamin Šeško, who's the guy who we're supposed to say, okay, this guy's going to light it up. And he basically had one chance was hard, and I admit that. And, I was a little bit harsh on that particular chance. The first one was a little harder to take. But you get a gilt-edged chance, and it's set up right after Ronaldo misses a penalty. And you have a gilt-edged chance. It's like 41-year-old Pepe exactly what we talked about, giving the ball up to a youngster Šeško one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Here's your chance to reel in a new era. And you pull a Kolo Muani on Emi Martinez from the World Cup.
I mean, that was it. The Kolo Muani's finish was better. This wasn't a great finish, right? Yeah. It wasn't a great finish. And I think I was a little wrong in that this tournament came a bit early for Benjamin Šeško. He's an incredible talent. He created a lot of danger in this tournament. But as a striker, you have to score the big goals. And he didn't do that, right, at first team. He didn't score the big goals when they needed it. And so he's not quite a complete player yet. He's not quite the player who not only can be dangerous, but also be clinical. You have to be more clinical than he was. And at that moment, that's the game. There's no way. I mean, there's a way, but I don't believe Portugal would have come back from that. The devastation of Ronaldo missing a penalty, Pepe slipping, those two talisman of the team to be the ones that made the mistake. I just don't think they could pick themselves back up after if Šeško puts that in. In the end, he doesn't, and then Portugal survives.
Yeah, so and I gotta say this, like, you know, Cristiano Ronaldo is a player that gets a lot of flack, right? He gets a lot of flack from Messi fans. He gets a lot of flack from people out there. Just his personality is very polarizing. But to miss a penalty and then come back, take the first penalty, and then I thought it was a very touching moment. And I'm not a Portugal fan by any stretch of the imagination. And in this match, you always feel for the smaller teams, like so. And us having traveled to Slovenia, I kind of wanted Slovenia to win. But in that moment, he goes and apologizes to the fans for missing. I thought that was an extremely mature approach to everything, and you got to give credit to the guy.
Yes, I think you do, but it also speaks to the leadership on this team and how it shifted away from him, right? He's no longer the de facto leader of this team. And you saw at halftime of extra time, he was crying, and Diogo Dolo is there with him, kind of consoling him. That's the role that he's played. Dalo is playing the role that Ronaldo has played in the past. And that's where his career is now. He's not quite the same player. He's not quite the same leader. And it's up to his teammates to pick him up. And that was kind of a nice moment, I think, to see that the rest of his teammates have taken on more of a leadership role, and they were there consoling him. Yes, I think it's courage to take that penalty like he did. Yes, it's nice of him to apologize, but let's also acknowledge that as much as we want to talk about him as the central figure, he's not the central figure in this Portuguese team, and we have to accept that there are other leaders and other people we should talk about more than him.
100%. And I frankly thought it wasn't a penalty. I think it was a bad penalty that was given. It shouldn't have been a penalty. So actually, it was Slovenia was harsh done by that. And let's go on the other side now. Jan Oblak. So Jan Oblak is by hands down a much better goalkeeper than Diogo Coast, like 1,000% a better keeper. Jan Oblak is might be besides Courtois, probably the best goalkeeper in the world. Penalties never ever are reflective of any kind of thing beyond, I shouldn't say any kind of thing, but it's majority luck. I gotta say, like, you could be the best goalkeeper in the world and you could be awful at penalties. It just, or on a given day. So what I'm saying is, anyone who says, oh, because you have Jan Oblak, you're going to win, because you have, you know, a certain goalkeeper, you're going to win. It doesn't work out like that. And we've seen it time and time again. The Nations League, Euro Nations League finals, Croatia had just won multiple penalties in a row. So everyone says, okay, they're going to beat Spain, who just lost to Morocco, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's about the goalie. I mean, it's about the goalie, but you also have to have takers that can take them well, right? So it's luck, yes, but we can be honest and say the Slovenian penalties weren't as good, right? Because what the Portuguese did well, they were somewhat unstoppable, but also they understood I have to kind of trick the goalie a little bit before I take my penalty. They were a little more savvy in the way they took the penalties. I mean, those were some incredible saves. Costa makes some incredible saves, but at the same time, the Portuguese penalties were better, right? So that I think we have to acknowledge. Yes, it was luck, but a team that misses 3 penalties and the other team, you know, makes 3, that's a bit of a gap in penalty quality in terms of what was taken, right? So if you hit the post or something, that's luck. This was poorly taken penalties by Slovenia, well taken penalties by Portugal.
100% on the day, but I'm saying you run this back on another day, and I guarantee you could end up with a different result. Like, you know, Portugal misses 2 penalties, Slovenia hits all 3. Like, so that's my point. It is not reflective. I wish there was a better way to decide these matches, frankly. And that's why it would have been much better if this was decided by a goal in the run of play. Of course, Benjamin Šeško had the ability to do that and just drop the ball. I mean, look, Slovenia got exactly what they wanted in the end. You know, you have the gilt edge chance. Then beyond that, you go to penalties with your top player, who's your goalie and one of the best goalies keepers in the world. You had every opportunity there to win this match. And so while I think neutrals feel bad for Slovenia not getting through, they did have a chance to win this match.
Yeah, I mean, they had a chance, right? It's you have to remember, for a team like Slovenia playing against a team like Portugal, you have to do exactly what they did. You have to defend for your lives. You have to be very smart when you have the ball, create chances, which they did. The intensity at which this game was played was incredible. It was so intense, unlike the earlier game. But I think what you have to say is they did all they could. And yes, they got the chance. They got the one chance, the big chance to win the game, and they didn't put it away, right? But at the same time, Portugal had multiple chances, right? Ronaldo has a one-on-one. I mean, there's multiple chances on the other end. So yes, I think it's sad for Slovenia, and they had the moment. But this is the only way they could have played it. This is the only way they could have played it, and hope that that last one goes in. And the fact that it didn't is heartbreaking. But it's also it's what happens when you're a less talented team. You know, you get one chance and you have to convert it, two chances you have to convert it, and that's the unfortunate way it went down today.
Yeah, and that's the nature of tournament football in general. You know, on another day he puts it away, and you know, then everyone writes stories about Ronaldo and Portugal and how they let down Slovenia. It's a historic victory, all that kind of stuff. I think what ends up happening in these tournaments is that by the end, the top teams do usually end up getting to the final, like more or less. I've seen that time and time again, and you know, I don't know how far this Portugal team will go. But you know, on the day today, there was a lot of drama, and there was I think it was a fantastic match, and it was fairly even in terms of overall based on how well Slovenia played.
And congrats to Slovenia, incredible performance. They gave us an incredible game, but we're yet to see our true underdog sort of upset in the knockout stages in this tournament, and I wonder who it's going to be. And it may be, let's see, we have some games tomorrow. It could be the Swiss if they end up in the next round, maybe a dark horse rather than a pure upset. But generally, you have one team who springs a big surprise in the knockout stage. It could be Romania. Let's see. It could be Austria and Switzerland or Turkey in the following round. But I'm waiting for that real underdog moment, that real upset moment. And we just haven't had it quite in the knockout stage. We've had it. It's been so close. Incredible performance. Someone's going to do it. I just don't know who's going to do it yet.
Yeah, we've had Slovakia and Slovenia to get very close to doing it, but who knows? Maybe we're heading into a Euro 2000 where only favorites made it through. But you know, since then it's been some wild results. But yeah, maybe we still have some time. Maybe we'll still get one. So if you've been enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel. And you know, Vala to Slovenia for a great tournament. And probably more to come for this team. Definitely more to come for Benjamin Sesko. And to Cristiano Ronaldo, it was redemption. You got your second opportunity, and let's see where you go from here.